You see her wrestling with this thought of, well, I used to be like, oh yes, hands down, I will be brave. Now I don't know if I'm brave. So this beautiful discovery of like the true bravery that lies within her.
Welcome back to the Rooted Minds podcast, where we come together as a family to talk about books and our emotions. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about Lois Lowry's Number the Stars.
Yes, today I really love Number the Stars, and today I want to talk about just resilience in the face of darkness that we see in this book. This book is about a young Danish girl in World War II, and she has this very, very close friend, and she's Jewish. And just the whole realization of the little Danish girl realizing the reality and the trouble that her best friend is experiencing, and all the fear and overwhelm that this causes, and then just her realization that there's a need for like strength in the midst of this.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to talk about just resilience we see in the book overall, but then also let's just talk about first the book itself and what it's about.
The book is definitely like it gives a really interesting perspective on World War II because it's coming from the eyes of a child, and for the most part it tells it from her eyes, and so we sort of just get what she interprets of what's happening.
Yeah, it may be the most gentle World War II book I've ever read.
Yeah.
That's true.
So it's a really a great way to introduce young children to it because the topic is very, well, one of the things that I just think is fascinating about this is the story because we know the scope of what the Jews went through in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
To tell it like this and to give you just like one little, like almost like cracking the door open.
Yeah.
How different that does to change a dark room. Like this little crack of light.
Yeah.
You feel the injustice, you feel the pain, you feel the trouble that is caused, you feel all of these things.
Yeah.
And that's only a sliver of what the Jews experienced.
One grain of the sand.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what you get to see through Anne-Marie, the Danish girl that's the main character, because she doesn't get the whole picture of what's all the horrible stuff that's happening in World War II, but she sees what's happening to this close friend of hers and just the ways that it's affecting her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a danger she's got to get out of the city.
Yeah.
And that by itself is scary enough for a child, you know? Like
There's this kind of reoccurring theme in the book, something that they say to each other. Like Anne-Marie knows of a resistance. Anne-Marie knows that they have to be brave and they have to help because that's the right thing to do because they love their Jewish friends. But the message is kind of like sometimes not knowing is better. So you can be brave at this time. You can know later, but you can be brave now.
Yeah.
It's
because
easier
you
to
don't
be brave.
know.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, because she does have a sister that has lost her life in being brave.
Yeah.
But Anne-Marie doesn't know that. And so that gives her a greater sense of like willingness to help because she's not living with that. That's really interesting.
That fear.
Yeah.
And she ends up being pulled into her friend's story in such a way that was dangerous for herself. Delivering a package that could have meant something really bad, but she did it very bravely.
Yeah. So I just also want to define resilience really quick so that we all just know what we're talking about.
You love definitions.
But resilience is the ability to withstand hardship and recover from difficulty.
In Alyssa's words,
I bounce back.
She was ready for that.
Resilience.
One.
I was.
We did not plan that.
You didn't. Oh my gosh.
I like that definition though. Say it again. Say it one more time.
Resilience is the ability to withstand hardship and recover from difficulty.
But I appreciate the image of like a ball, like that bounces back. But if you're deflated, it does not.
It can't
Exactly.
withstand that.
There's no resilience.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I think maybe the air that's inside of this ball is hope. And when there's no hope, it can't bounce.
Or I think
That's
even
so
about
real.
like the picture in my head is like of like a tree limb, you know, and if it's like doesn't have any life or water in it, and it gets like really brittle and it snaps easily.
Ooh.
Wow.
But if it has like life and nutrient and water,
it's hydrated.
if it's hydrated,
That's
then
so
it can bend
good.
with the wind and with the creatures that crawl on it,
Yeah.
whatever, you know, that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Something I just want to talk about because it feels like a important overall theme in regards to bravery and resilience is there's a story that the main character's name is
Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie, and her dad tells her this story of this boy who was met to by the soldier, and the soldier saw the Danish king on this horse and was like, "Who is that?" And the boy was like, "That's the Danish king." And the guard was like, "Well, why doesn't he have any security?" And the boy said, "All of Denmark is the king's security." And every time Anne-Marie asked her papa this story, he would be like, "And I am too." And every time she heard that, she would say, "Well, if you are and Mama is, then I will be." And then later in the book, you see her wrestling with this thought of, well, I used to be like, "Oh yes, hands down, I will be brave." Now I don't know if I'm brave. And then, well, my uncle says I'm brave, so maybe I can try. And then, oh, I am brave. So this beautiful discovery of like the true bravery that lies within her, which is so sweet.
But it's cool that it stems from a narrative, from a story. We were just talking
it's
about
so
how
true.
narratives heal.
Yeah.
But like this story that her dad is teaching her is not only giving her identity, but it's also giving her like a principle or a paradigm to live under.
Yeah.
We defend those that we love.
Mm.
Our king walks around on a horse without security because he's not afraid in our presence.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of people we are. That's how the Danish live.
Yeah.
We live in a peaceful place that looks out for one another. And my friend here is one of the people that I am looking out for because she's in my place.
And Anne-Marie risks everything for her friend. And it's beautiful to see that level of friendship also, and resilience in friendship.
Because those truths about her identity became that nutrient, that life inside the branch that allowed her to be resilient in so many ways.
Which is cool that like the father shared like a story that was like about his own identity in a way where he was like sharing, this is who I am, and then on her own she decided, if you're like that, I'm gonna be like that, you know. Like it's cool that he wasn't like saying like, okay, you're gonna be willing to give your life for the Dutch
his
king.
love for her.
Yeah.
And in love, we want to be like those we love.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Something I really like is Anne-Marie's uncle says to her at one point, I think, fear is not the absence, or courage is not the absence of fear, but doing it anyway. And I think that's so beautiful. So I'd love to talk about just where you guys see resilience in the book and just parts that you remember that maybe she was afraid, but she did it anyway.
I think there are some moments where she's like, even though she doesn't know the whole picture, she's aware of the danger. And so like there's this one moment where she's with her Jewish friend and she's also with her little sister, and they encounter a German guard. They encountered one at the beginning of the book, but this is later when she's a little bit more aware of what's happening.
Yeah.
And she has this kind of panic moment because her little sister has even less idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And she's afraid her little sister is going to say, "Oh, this is our Jewish friend," you know, just blurt it out and completely ruin
or
everything,
just
you know.
say something and draw attention to them.
Yeah.
Because she's learned it's better to not have the attention.
Yeah.
She learned from that first encounter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
But her little sister hasn't gotten there yet.
Yeah. And so she's just trying to remain in the shadows in a way. And her sister does end up saying something, but it's totally unrelated. It has to do with something they're eating, some food or something like that. I forget. But anyway, and so there's these moments where she feels like this lack of control and what she is able to do in protecting her friend, but she has to steady herself, and remain resilient, like you said.
True.
Like if she can't give in to the panic, even if something does happen, she has to stay calm.
That shows a lot of inner strength.
To
do that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's so cool to like see her thought process throughout the book. Like different than watching a movie, we can see what she's thinking, how she's processing, how she comes to the decisions to take action that she does. And it all kind of shows that inner strength, like you're saying. She's filtering through the things her parents have told her, the stories that she's heard, the identity statements, her past experiences, and she's coming to these like very strong, powerful decisions of bravery, of selflessness, of even like obedience to her parents. Like when her mom says get up and go, she gets up and she goes. Like fast.
And I think it's so true that she like kind of like what you're saying, she learns resilience through watching her parents in the way that they act. Because there's another moment where German guards come into their home and they're protecting Ellen, the Jewish girl that's living with them, and pretending that she's their daughter.
Which is so brave.
He comes in and he says, "Are you harboring any Jews?" And they're like, "No." And then he says, "This girl, this daughter of yours has black hair and all the rest of your daughters have blonde hair. How did you manage to do
How'd that happen?"
And there's like kind of this like pause in the room because everyone is like, he basically figured it out. But their dad remains calm. He grabs their family photo album and tears out this old picture of the oldest sibling that had passed away, who when she was really little had dark hair.
She was born with dark hair.
Says, "This is her."
This is her as a baby. See, she's dark hair.
And it works.
Crazy.
It's
So
really cool.
he demonstrated that kind of inner strength that then Anne Marie could replicate.
imitate.
I think of another time too when the Germans burst into the home when they were hiding. Well, they were sort of pretending to have this funeral, this service, and when the casket was there and it was
Danish
closed.
tradition said that they could say goodbye to their loved one before they buried them.
Yeah, and so she watched. Was it her mom handle that?
Yeah.
That German soldier and the way that she handled that, so that her mom continued to like be a model.
Yeah, well, because there was this crazy moment where they have clothes and blankets because they're about to like send all the Jewish people they've been harboring across the sea, across the sea, and they have all of these things in the coffin, and so the German comes in and he's like, "Open it up, like let me make sure that there's actually a person in there." And the mom was like, yeah, let's open it. That she just has a deadly disease, but sure, we can open it.
Like, you're right.
They're pretending it's like their great aunt or something that passed away.
Yeah.
Like, and she's like, yes, you're right. I've been longing to see her. Like, let's just open up. And the German's like, actually, I'll let you do that on your own time,
Yeah.
So it's like this really like cool thinking on your feet, and just like how brave her parents, everybody that is in this line of the resistance is so just strong emotionally, I think, and it's beautiful to see. Let's talk about the collective resilience since we're on the topic. Just how you see the group as a whole being resilient.
Well, I think one cool thing that's kind of been coming out as we've been talking is this identity passed down, and it starts with Denmark as a whole, and it goes to the family, and then it goes to the individual in the family. Like Denmark, we are protectors as a collective is like the identity statement that comes out of that story of the boy with the soldier.
We are people who look out for one another.
Yeah. What we value, we'll protect. And so then Anne-Marie's parents, they have that value, and Anne-Marie sees it, and now she has that value.
Yeah.
And I think that's really powerful. Kind of like to see what those group values do to the individual, and like how that saved countless people, countless lives.
It's like they trusted each other because they sort of knew they would live into that identity. They knew this is who we are. We trust that you believe that. I believe that.
Well, that's really the only way that like a secret network can work.
That's right.
Yeah.
I have to
be
depend
built on trust.
on you doing the thing that you said you were going to do.
Yeah.
I have to depend on the fact that you also agree with me that protecting these people is valuable.
Critical.
Yeah. And honestly, it's pretty powerful that they had the kind of king that modeled that for the people, that,
That's true.
you know, in some ways, like, put his life on the line by going without any guards or protectors in a sense, because he's putting his trust in all the people.
Let me show you that I trust you.
Yeah.
Not
So
tell
cool.
you that I trust you, but
Yeah.
tell you by showing.
And it's crazy. I'm just remembering, like, at the end of the book, the package that Anne-Marie brings to her uncle, Henrik, to help get the Jews across the sea to Sweden was a handkerchief that when the German soldiers caught her and, like, inspected it, the dogs that were smelling it, like, oh, not that big of a deal. But it was actually, like, in the afterword of the book, they explain how, like, Danish scientists developed this, like, chemical compound, so, like, whatever they put together was designed for, like, watchdogs to temporarily lose their sense, their smell. So it has, like, this, like, I think it had something like meat smell in it that drew the dogs, but then there was, like, another chemical in there that, like temporarily, like
mask.
just
Just
killed their
crazy.
sense of smell.
Like they couldn't smell humans on the boat.
Yeah. So my point is, even the scientists of like the Danish scientists were under the same mindset.
Wow.
The protectors.
Yeah.
Protectors.
Sort of behind the scenes.
Right.
Yeah.
Not just the average person, not just the ordinary people, but like the whole country as a whole,
I
with
think that's
all
the
of its
concept.
strength.
Yeah.
That's so good.
And
Yeah.
protecting without obligation, in a sense, because like Anne-Marie and her family, like they were so resilient, but in a lot of ways they didn't have to be, because they could have just abandoned their Jewish
And I think
family.
that's like the concept of upstander or bystander. Like these people aren't feeling helpless. It's them being resilient is meaning making for them.
So what is an upstander or a bystander?
So an upstander is when you like, I mean, I'll explain it better, but it's like if you've ever heard like standing up for somebody, that's like being an upstander is whenever you protect somebody.
So you
purpose.
see injustice
Yeah.
and you do something about it.
Yeah, exactly. Bystander is when you stand by and do nothing. Like you see something and you do nothing, or you see something and you do something. That's the difference. Upstander and bystander.
And so the concept of a bystander is that they're inadvertently like condoning
Yeah.
the behavior. They're like
right.
a part of allowing it to continue, which it kind of is like a part of helping it happen.
Yeah, which is horrible and hard that that's also the case. Because sometimes I would think like as a bystander, you might think, well, that's scary and like I don't condone it, but I don't
I'm
think
also
I can
not
do
a part
anything.
of it. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like this complicated, like, but yeah, I think the Danish really do show just how much of a like upstander they are, and how it truly as a people produces meaning for them in a difficult and seemingly hopeless situation. They find strength and resilience that helps them keep going. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us for this episode. If you'd like, we're going to have some deep dives on Rooted Minds, where we're going to be going more into different themes and ways that resilience transforms the character of these people and different ways that they express that. And so join us there if you'd like to go more into this beautiful book. But thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks again for joining us on the Rooted Minds podcast. If you enjoyed talking with us about Number the Stars, join us on Rooted Minds for a deep dive on this topic. And until next time, may you find joy, grace, and peace in the pages you turn.